and welcome back to a new episode of Mama Pacific. Today you are joining me at the airport in Milan Malpensa in Italy, where we are waiting to hop on a plane towards Iceland, the land of fire and ice, wind and wonder. We traveled to Iceland nearly 10 years ago with our then 11 months old son. We are truly grateful we are now able to travel back as a family of 5. After one last espresso and a little hiccup, we board the plane and have to deboard due to a technical problem. But finally, we are on our way. So, let the adventure begin. Flying from Italy to Iceland means we are trading warm autumn weather for Arctic winds.
Potete usufruire di prezzi imbattibili sui nostri voli, tra cui poter scegliere. Cercate EasyJet Holidays e iniziate a programmare la vostra prossima destinazione.
The moment we land in Keflavik, Iceland's international airport, the air feels different, cleaner, sharper, colder. We are taking over a rental car and head into Reykjavik, which is about a 50-kilometer drive from the airport. Reykjavik happens to be the northernmost capital city in the world, and yet it feels cozy and welcoming, almost like a small village. Reykjavik means smoky bay, named after the steam rising from the geothermal hot springs nearby. We meet up with friends from home who happen to be here at the same time like us. We stroll through the town and enjoy some warm drinks. Not so the kids. They have ice cream. Then it is time to leave the city. We first head to the Thingvellir National Park. This place is powerful. It is here where Iceland's first parliament was founded in the year 930, making it one of the oldest democratic sites in the world. But it's not just history you can feel here. This is also where the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates slowly drift apart. I'm standing between 2 continents, feeling very small and very amazed at the same time. Plus, very wet. Silva is one of the clearest bodies of water on Earth. The water here is filtered through lava rock for decades before reaching this fissure, which is why visibility can exceed 100 meters. It is also about 2 degrees Celsius warm year-round. So while many people snorkel and dive here, we admire it from dry land. then head to the Geysirs. This area gave the world the word geyser, and it does not disappoint. Steam rises, the ground bubbles. The original geyser, however, which gave its name to all similar hot springs worldwide, is now mostly dormant. Its more energetic neighbor Strokkur is now stealing the show by erupting every few minutes, sending boiling water shooting into the sky.
You're actually joining me today in Iceland, and we have been here for a couple of days, but we haven't been filming too much because the weather, well, it's very, very, very wet. But that doesn't hinder us. We still went exploring. I'm gonna take you along, and yeah, Iceland it is. I've been here nearly 10 years ago, 9.5 years ago. My oldest child was just 10 months old, and I was actually expecting my second child. Yeah, good memories. I will also include some of those, I guess, in this video. But yeah, welcome, come along, and let's see what we're gonna explore this time.
Just a short drive away from the geyser is Gullfoss, the golden waterfall. The sound is overwhelming, the power of the water humbling. Standing here, you don't talk much, you just listen. Nature really doesn't need background music. Our next stop is Kerið, a volcanic crater formed around 6,500 years ago. Its red slopes surround a striking blue-green lake, creating colors that feel almost unreal. Places like this make you realize how young humans are compared to the land beneath our feet. We walk around both the crater and the lake. On our way back to the cottage, we take quite a detour as I put in the wrong address in the Navi. We see the sun and some snippets of blue sky for the first time on this trip.
Hello from my kitchen in Iceland, from our cottage. I'm preparing some food after a day exploring. It's funny because we wanted to buy meatballs, but we ended up getting some kind of, I don't even know how you call that, but they are like, I think they have a lot of liver in it because they are kind of reddish meat. They are also balls, but not like the traditional meatballs. And the guy told us in the store that this is the Icelandic version. So we tried them yesterday and we all didn't like them, but we are still too cheap to get rid of them. So now we are trying to cut them. We fry them with onions, etc. We still try to kind of make it work. Guess that's the adventures for cooking abroad. Yeah, so here we are. To be honest, I'm not sure whether that's gonna be anything. The smell is already very strong and I don't know whether I can handle it. Let's see, probably my husband can. I'm usually not a very picky eater, but this has a very, very distinctive smell. Rented this beautiful cottage. It's huge. It's like 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. It has a hot tub. It's covered, which is good because since we arrived, how many days ago? 3 days ago? It has been raining like constantly and heavily. We've seen like 1 ray of sunshine last night when we drove along the coast for like 2.5 minutes, and otherwise it's just pouring. Like, yep. But nevertheless, we're gonna make the best out of it. Last time when we were in Iceland 9.5 years ago, it was in May. And there I remember that it was really, really windy and we were pretty cold, even though we had our winter year with us. Now this time we are not cold, but we are really, really wet. Like, it's like even with our complete rain gear on, we've been soaking wet every day. That's okay. Still out exploring.
originates from meltwater at the Thingvellir glacier. The volcano beneath this ice cap famously erupted in 2010 and caused havoc at airports across Europe and actually hindered some of our guests from attending our Swiss wedding party. But back to Iceland for now. The cascade of the Seljalandsfoss is relatively narrow but falls from a tall cliff that marked the country's coastline centuries ago. The sea is now located across a stretch of lowlands and is visible from the site. The most distinguishing feature of Seljalandsfoss is a unique pathway that lets you walk behind the cascading water. Though a mesmerizing opportunity, you should be prepared to get wet due to the perpetual mist of the falls, which also tends to make the rocks of the pathway pretty slippery. Walking towards the Sólheimajökull glacier feels like stepping into another world. The ice creaks and cracks, constantly moving, constantly changing. Glaciers like this one are retreating every year due to climate change. It's breathtakingly beautiful and quietly heartbreaking at the same time. We wait, it's cold, and for a moment it feels like maybe tonight won't be the night. Then it happens. I've had this dream for years, standing under the northern lights, watching the sky move like it's alive. Soft green lights appear in the sky, slowly moving, growing bigger, dancing above us. I can barely speak. This has been a dream of mine for so long, and suddenly it's real. I have spent extensive time up in the north during winter, but somehow the northern lights never made an appearance when I was there. Until now. Standing there with my family, watching the sky perform just for us, I realized something. Some dreams don't come true loudly. They arrive quietly, patiently, and stay with you forever. Close to our cottage you can admire a DC-3 plane wreck, and that's where we are heading next. It served the United States Navy at the naval base in Keflavik for several years during the 1960s. On the sunny day of July 25, 1969, the DC-3 took off from Keflavik base and headed northeast. Its destination was the runway located by the farm Saudanes near Thorshoven. The captain successfully landed the plane on the runway and everything appeared to be in order. However, during the braking process, the plane unexpectedly veered to the right, ran off the runway and collided with a pile of driftwood, resulting in a broken wheel and the wing touching the ground. Fortunately, none of the 4 people on board sustained any injuries. Given the assessment that repairing the plane or transporting it back to Keflavik would be excessively expensive, it was decided to tow it aside and leave it in a field near the runway. Since that day, the DC-3 airplane became a shelter for horses and sheep, providing them refuge from the northern winds. A few years ago, the airplane became a tourist attraction, making it challenging for the animals to live peacefully. As a result, the farmers in Saudanes decided that it was time for the plane to take its final flight. Transporting the DC-3 plane wrecked across Iceland, spanning a distance of 716 kilometers, proved to be a challenging task. The job was completed successfully, and now the DC-3 plane wreck can be enjoyed by people here in Eyvindarholt. In the afternoon, we drive along the coast to the seafront village Vik I Myrdal. Reynisfjara, the famous black sand beach near Vik, feels wild and dramatic. The sand is volcanic, the waves relentless, the basalt columns towering like something from another world. These waters are beautiful but dangerous. I don't film much, as the sneaker waves here are no joke. Today is Lava Day. We first make a stop at the Lava Center in Volcanos, an interactive, high-tech exhibition which is truly impressive. We also enjoy their cozy coffee shop. We then head to the lava cliffs near Sólheimajökull. Jagged, sharp and sculpted by ancient eruptions, they feel raw and untouched. It's quiet here, the kind of quiet that makes you listen to your own thoughts.
We are here at the south coast in Iceland at the Atlantic. It's very rough. It's beautiful. We've just seen some seals and a very brave surfer going into the waves. And yeah, I thought I'm sharing this moment because in the morning it was a bit rough. It's very, very foggy. We were driving and I was very disappointed because I thought we're not going to see anything, and the kids were fighting constantly on the back seat. So it was one of these mornings where I literally thought it's for nothing. But which obviously is part of traveling, which is part of life. You can plan as much as you want, but then you get these situations. We arrived here in this very little village because we have realized that driving off the beaten path is really what we enjoy. Compared to 10 years ago, it has changed a lot, and I don't know how to word it because obviously we are also tourists, but it has become very different and so we enjoy being a bit off the beaten path, doing things which are probably not very spectacular, but that's what we are here for. And then we arrived here and this spot is super rough, and obviously you don't get the view as if you would when there would be blue skies, but we are on our own. We just observed the wildlife and the waves, and the kids played with the rocks, and I think it has become one of my favorite moments of the trip. It makes me a bit emotional. I don't know whether there is a moral to this story, but I felt like sharing it. On another note, for tomorrow we booked an excursion by boat to see wildlife from the sea, and kind of questioning our decision a bit right now. It is super rough, but let's see. We are used to be on a boat, my husband and I. Not sure about the kids, so we will see how that goes.
Thank you for traveling with us and spending your precious time with us. Join us next week when we embark on a whale watching and marine life excursion at sea. And tell me in the comments, what dream are you still waiting to see light up the sky?